Apothecary Diaries Season 2, Episode 7. We're almost caught up. Or no, Episode 8, right? Yes, Episode 8. We're almost caught up. Holy moly. Let's go. No more time a-wasting. Like the video. Was that Boston, like, looking all scared in the flowers? The younger Gaoshun's son?
Oh, was that? I thought it was Jinshi.
Oh, maybe.
Prince, get up.
I wonder if those girls are gonna mean anything or if they're just
Yeah,
gone.
I was wondering if they're gonna come back again.
Like, they just have such a design, and they, you know, and they're exactly what the Emperor would like. Maybe they're a little bit thin. Is this another flashback? Who was that? Is that the Dowager?
Like
oh, sorry.
It looks like Jinshi's, like, mom.
Yeah, the Empress Dowager. I always thought she looked more like Ado in season 1. Maybe I'm crazy.
Oh. That's disgusting. Look at all this.
Is
This
this
looks so nice.
after she cleaned it out, or is this just they're moving her stuff?
This is if she moved all her stuff in. Oh, this is what she was envisioning. I love it's like, we're gonna move you out if you don't behave. I'm moving. I'm leaving.
She's like, that's an option? I could be put in a storage shed?
That's what I always wanted. Absolutely not.
Oh, I'm not a court lady.
It's the other girl.
Oh, yeah. She's sweet.
Just giving her a bad reputation.
She's sweet, aka Lolon / Lolon's possibly twin sister. She could be really phantom. Sometimes she's here, and sometimes I don't hear from her for weeks.
But she never gets in trouble, weirdly.
Nah, nah. Yeah, hopefully that doesn't get her in trouble. Jinshi's. Jinshi's favor.
That's a huge bargaining chip.
I wonder, this is a complete Carson banger of a nonsense theory speculation. This is a classic Carson technique of, do you think because he is not actually a eunuch and because he actually has his balls, maybe with the nature of the show being about like medical conditions and stuff like that, that there's like a pheromone that, like,
so they like him just because he's the
like,
only actual.
Well, he's also
like,
super hot and a
yeah.
prince, to be fair. But like, I wonder if that maybe is a consideration for the story because like, but they aren't like that for Gaoshun, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I feel like it's not out of the question.
Yeah, I feel like it definitely could be like going that way, but he is taking stuff to suppress his hormones. It doesn't work like completely, but it is decently effective. But then again, when everyone else around is at like literally zero, you know, it could still be a noticeable difference. It would be like something very subtle that like no one would really notice.
Well, we don't know if that actually suppresses his actual hormones. Because, as a comment pointed out, obviously they didn't know what hormones were scientifically at the time. However, like it probably just prevents him from getting a boner or like
it stops him from like growing. It's like kind of.
It
like,
makes him more puffy. Yeah, it makes him like appear more like a eunuch and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But oh, and he also smells good, which I found out that if he smells good, eunuchs notoriously
did not
smell good. Did we learn that together in a video?
Yeah,
or
I
something
showed
like that?
you
Yeah,
that.
you showed me that. Right. Yeah, because they had to wear like basically diapers, and they used to spice the diapers if they were like rich or something. But eunuchs in ancient China didn't smell good because they were cut root and stem, so their urethra was removed, basically preventing them from being able to withhold urinating. So they would just piss themselves all the time, and they would stink like piss all the time because, you know, for some reason they decided that you need to cut off the entire dick as well as the balls if you want a eunuch. Anyway, so I think that even if the pheromones thing doesn't play into it, I bet the smell thing is like the fact that he smells good. I think that is a bit of storytelling there. Why is she suddenly so concerned with Shisui? Mosquitoes.
Look at those nice things. This is those flowers.
Which flowers?
Aren't they the ones that were planted outside of the hut with that sick girl in it? And they said that they go white when they're like stressed out from replanting or something. Isn't that
I
what
forgot
you said?
about that, but I think you're right. I think as we watched it out of order, I forgot that detail, but yeah.
中の粉をおしろいとして使うためじゃなくて堕胎剤を作るためにシンは当初香をつけていなかった取って代わる妃になろうとしていたシンが流産の危険性を避けるのはおかしくないシンが香をつけてまで堕胎剤を作ろうとしたそれはおそらくでも玉葉様だけが皇帝の寵愛を受けているわけではないリファ様が妊娠している可能性も十分にある
What if Lolan is pregnant?
Oh.
I doubt it because she's not very big chested for one. Two, she's also still kind of young, not super young, but this Maomao's age, like of a respectable age, but not quite what the Emperor's normally into.
Yeah.
But if say, because there was the mirror twins, and one of them got pregnant, and then the other one was like trying to cover, and it was like a big to do.
Yeah.
What if it's a similar thing like this where Lolan or Lolan's sister, who was standing in for Lolan while Lolan was being Shisui or whatever, how it works, got pregnant from the Emperor and she doesn't want to be. So it seems like they're planting these abortion drug flowers in order to fuck with another concubine, and maybe they were because of Shisho, or they're trying to make them have an abortion because they don't want to have a child yet.
美女たちの作る堕胎剤にはおしろい花の他にほおずきやボタン、ホウセンカや芍薬、水銀などを使う。水銀はともかく他は高級内でも手に入るものだ。高級の中にあるのに真は堕胎剤の材料を
Mercury.
カーバンが持ち込んだものだ。
Like the mirror?
つまり薬の知識のない真に毒の作り方を教えた人間がいる。おそらくその人物はまだ高級内に。
Yeah, she's like, this is not like me at all.
She's like, you are not my rival. I will never have an evil laugh at being able to face you in combat. Like Sugre. Just kill it?
Squish it?
止水どいてくれると嬉しいんだけど。
Ew.
その虫を捕まえようとしたの？相当虫が強いんだな。おっ。
She just loves bugs.
Island Nation to the east. Oh, it's the cicada. It's Japanese cicada. Sounds like an episode of Evangelion.
procession?
Yeah, some kind. Oh. Boy.
あれは確か皇太后さん。
Where do you think you're
昨
going?
年の園遊会本当に若いな。中将の母親とは思えない。
Mm-hmm.
なんで隠れるの？マーマーこそ。まあ、診療所に行くのかな。診療所？うん。がやってる非公式の診療所なんだけど、それは知ってる。あれ、皇太后さんが作ったんだって。
Really?
が強い時代だったから、公には作れなかったらしい。そうなんだ。
That's the one she went to before with those other ladies?
皇太后様は。
Mm.
それに宦官や奴隷の制度が禁止になったのも皇太后様の口添えがあったんだって。
Wow. Hugely progressive.
Yeah.
Crazy.
いいことだろう。だが、優雅のように扱われる奴隷、妓女のように自分の身を担保する場合、雇用に近いれる。
Yeah.
ただ、傍から見れば見えないこともない。ババアの会社がヒヤヒヤしたって言ってたのに。表向きた奴隷制度だが、
It's still very much alive.
存在しているのは周知の
Yeah.
事実だ。さてと。
Sometimes things can't be solved in one fell swoop, unfortunately.
大王様が診療所に向かっているのは先日の水晶宮の一件と何か関係があるのだろうか。皇太后様が乗り出すなら高級の医療体制に改革が起こるかもしれない。そんな話したいが。
I wonder if she's gonna make women doctors. Women can be doctors now, and then Mao Mao is gonna be at the top of the list.
Yeah.
Big target on her back.
はい。これで3度目だ。
Not at the top of the list in terms of cleaning.
他の次女たちもダメ出しを食らっている。
Oh, in case the Empress Dowager
誰か
comes.
来るのか。お久しぶりです。アンシ様。
Ooh.
Anshi.
皇太后様だった。
See why they were being extra picky about cleaning.
ありがとうございます。皇太后様は玉葉様の妊娠をご存知なのか。信頼されてるってことか。
Even Mao Mao's all dressed up.
Mm.
嫁姑というよりは、
Yeah.
私のような雰囲気だな。
Really sad and fucked up, but also nice.
確か人種の元より手配された次女よね。
She has a really nice voice.
なぜ知ってる？
睡蓮から聞いたの。お着替えのある子が高級に戻った。
Mm.
私の次女をしていたの。
Mm.
なるほど。あの食えない次女と皇太后は窮地の中だったのか。
That's why she's kind of like Jinshi's grandma.
Mm-hmm.
アンシさん、寝かしつけてきてもよろしいでしょうか。いいわよ。察しのいい子ね。
Oh, wanted to talk to her alone. Oh boy.
そこにおかけ
Oh
So
shit.
creepy. I think it's okay, but it's
I don't
just
think she's just, it's foreboding, but it's important conversation.
some might say that.
私は自分が持っている
I bet she's gonna ask her to become a doctor or something.
否定的に聞こえただろうか。知識。私は自分が持っている知識の中で状況に当てはまるものを提示しているだけです。否定的に聞こえただろうか。
Too negative.
Because it's just like, oh, I hear that you've been going around helping people. Oh no, I just state facts from my. It's just, it's not like normally if it's like someone like the Dowager Empress is like, oh, so I hear you've been doing this. It's like, oh yes, I have been.
Yeah.
You know, like
it
you're-
sounds kind of like a disagreement in
yeah.
a way.
それが心情だから仕方ない。
それでもいいわ。
Hmm?
ある範囲でいいの。
Mm.
調べてもらいたいのよ。
Uh-oh.
Jinshi.
私は先の帝に呪いをかけたのかしら。
Might be hard to look into that, but
Unless if she's worried, maybe she wanted him dead. She was cursing his
yeah,
name.
I'm sure
cursing
she
his
was
name.
cursing his name.
Wait, and then he got assassinated, and she feels like it's her fault. That's what she means by putting a curse on him. Like, did I, by cursing his name, accidentally inspire somebody to murder him? I think is maybe, and maybe she wants the answer to be yes.
先の帝について正直いい話は聞いたことがない。具の女帝の傀儡、高級内で一番有名なのはロリコンだろうか。
Real shit.
政略結婚や妻をめとることはある。しかし先帝は妙齢の女官が数を幼い娘にばかり手を出していた。腹には傷がある。今の帝を出産される際、
Should have a
まだ
C-section.
体が育ちきっていなかった皇太后
Fuck.
を切るしかなかったのだ。その出産を手伝うためにわざわざ
Fuck.
That's crazy. Actually,
That's why he was
crazy that
pulled away, is
Yeah.
because he had to perform a C-section. He's the only one skilled enough to do it. I think we went over that, actually, season 1.
皇帝の年齢は確か私の一つ上。出産した時の皇太后様はみそじまい、少女とは言えない年齢だ。となると、これは本当に先帝の子なのか。
Who's to say?
首にされかねない。
Wait, can we... Sorry, we were talking over that. We've already gone back like a million times. This recording's already that length of the episode. So, that's one thing. Can just get this straight. I'm sure we already know the answer, and I'm just not thinking about it right. Technically, Jinshi and the one that he replaced are the same age, right? Because they were born at the same time. Then why is there like an age gap with the fucking brother? How the brother's like 24 and then Jinshi's like 17 or 18, 19? How does that work? Am I dumb?
No, okay. The prince is the same age that Jinshi actually is. They
Right.
say Jinshi, the eunuch,
Is older.
is older,
Right.
so it's more believable.
Right. Sorry.
先帝の子なのか。こんなこと口にしたら打ち首にされかね。数日後、皇太后様が茶会という形で上級妃
Tea party.
が集まる場を設け
That's
て
nice.
I'm sure to be really chill.
Oh, those peaches and fruits and
Ooh.
stuff.
お休みになってください。ええ、そうさせてもらうわ。
玉葉様は妊娠初期の眠くなりやすい症状が続いている。
王様どういうおつもりかしら。高級なのなんて
Outside of the rear
高級な
palace.
ことと言っても内定よ。
Mm.
じゃない。
A little field trip.
余計緊張するの。普段よ。
Interesting.
妊娠してるのは皇太后様もご存知なのに、どうして今。その辺は配慮してくださると思うけど、皇太后様の妃はどうかわからないじゃない。
玉葉様の妊娠は公然の秘密だが、メンテはあからさまな探りを入れられることもある。リファ妃はあえて自分に飛び火するような質問はしないだろう。位の高いリファ妃は相手を貶めることはしない。玉葉様としてもより血統の尊いリファ妃と喧嘩するのは可視。リーシュ妃が言うとすれば次女に注ぐ。
But she doesn't want to stir the pot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not with
She's,
Maomao around.
but Lolan already knows the truth. She won't say anything, I don't think.
Yeah.
Because she already knows. There'd be no reason.
何でしょうか。
今日の毒味は私がするわ。そういう流れってわかるわね。
わかりました。皇太后様が用意した席では毒味役をつけない。依頼していることを示すってことか。
それであなただけど、皇太后様が手伝いを貸してほしいそうよ。また何か問題を持ち込まれているの？
That's why it's in the.
秋の帝に呪いをかけたのかしら。できればもっと違う場所で話をしたいわ。どうせ言えないことでしょうから。ただし、玉葉様を裏切るような真似はしないでちょうだいね。
本ニャン様を敵に回したくはありません。
だらいいわ。私もマオマオとはいい関係でいたいもの。
For once, Maomao's the one getting scared.
玉葉様の事情が知らなだけある。
She's been... Has she been rubbing you the wrong way recently? In recent episodes, like with the girls who were like switching places and then got like sick from the northern fucking swamp or the crazy mushrooms and stuff. I forget what it was exactly, but like I was like, oh, she's probably just overly concerned about Gyokyo, but like that, I don't know, she's been acting
She
weird.
has been acting weird, but I can't tell if it's just she's extra stressed out because it's like she's in charge. So
They're
if
very
something
vulnerable.
slips through the cracks and something happens to Gyokyo, it's like mostly on, it's like 99% on her, you know?
Yeah.
Especially after like one of the other head ladies in waiting turned out to be evil and got like, you know, fired, and that was like the nicest possible, you know, and I'm sure she doesn't know all the details of that, but it's like,
Oh, Shin. I thought you were talking about the honey lady who got murdered,
no.
who got beheaded.
No, well, also her. They're dropping like flies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe that's a pattern where it's like her, then Shin, then now she's the one who breaks the trend, and she's actually being sketchy because she just actually is really genuinely concerned. Like this interaction comes off as she's not gonna double cross Gyokyo. It also could be she's performing this so that she seems like she's not the one double crossing her.
Or she's not going to double cross Gyokyo, but she's going to do something in Gyokyo's interest, like the other ones. But but then it's just like, okay, how many times are we going to rerun the same
of the head lady in waiting being sketchy and going beyond her station?
And she could still be sketchy, but I'm thinking that she's just extra intense. Right now, but you never know.
But it's really sketchy with all this abortion fucking medicine floating around and all these flowers blooming, and Shisui being literally Lolon just in disguise, or Lolon's maybe secret twin sister in disguise, making all these abortion drugs. And do fucking cicadas have mercury in them or something like that? Because that was the one ingredient that was missing from all these other flowers. I thought that maybe, like, was mercury in the mirrors? Is that like an ingredient to make the mirrors? Am I crazy?
I have no idea what's in a mirror.
Never mind. Because they all got gifted these mirrors.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, oh, that's crazy. They're so different, you know, rather than just looking at yourself in a polished piece of brass or something like that. And I thought that mercury was like in between two panes of glass and a mirror.
Maybe? I honestly don't know.
Anyway, we were told that's the one missing ingredient, and now there's these cicadas or something like that. I don't know if there's gonna be some kind of secret thing, because bugs are used for different drugs in this show a lot of times. So Maomao's not the taster, and she's the only one who's super sensitive to all this shit, and then, you know, and it's an abortion drug. So I don't know if Hongyang is gonna be like sensitive to an abortion drug. Sketchy.
Yeah.
皇太后様の用事と言ったら呪いの件だよな。
And who's she?
She's a head lady in waiting.
For sure, yeah, but I wonder if she has a connection to other characters or something.
今の高級ここが高級として機能していました。
そうなんですか。人の気配はないが、塵一つないほど掃除は行き届いている。
So this used to be the rear palace.
綺麗に履かれてるな。
先へは入れません。この先は掃除のものも入室を許可されており。
Why is it her bedroom, or what is this?
This is where he died, maybe.
この部屋は
先の帝の時代、女官から波及の妃になった方が。
It's like a preserved crime scene or something?
呼ばれた方の部屋であり、育まれた場所でもあり、見まかられた場所でもあります。
His body's still in there?
She's gonna have to investigate this crime scene. Interesting that they just leave it in, like, yeah.
There's probably some superstition around it because of the whole curse business.
女帝と呼ばれた母君はあの部屋にこもることが多くなりました。すがるように入り浸り、先帝は気が弱っていたのか、女帝の死後後を追うようにあの部屋で息を引き取りました。
そうですが、若かったわけではありませんよね。
天寿を全うされたと言ってもいい。
皇太后様は呪いだと。
呪いなどないと私も申し上げました。
私が呪ったの。いなくなればいいと。ずっとずっと迷子のごとく思っていたわ。
何か呪いがかかったという根拠はあるのですか？
された先帝のお体は1年間霊廟にて安置されます。主上と安子様は先帝を埋葬するためご遺体をご覧になったのですが、
It was preserved?
ご遺体は亡くなられた時とほぼ同じ姿。
What the fuck?
つまり腐ってなかった ったという
Well, there are ways to preserve a body, but they still break down after time.
男子様はご自身が選定に呪いをかけた。はい。なるほどね。霊病は夏でも涼しいが、遺体は氷漬けにでもしない限り
Yeah.
放置すれば腐って虫がそうならなかったというのは確かに異常だ。土に帰る。天井人も農民も同じだ。生まれた立場が
I wonder if it was a fake body, like a wax body, perfectly crafted.
Oh, it's getting torn down. That's why she needs to investigate.
ただし、一つお願いがあります。お願い
What's the request? Is that the end of the fucking episode? God damn it. Luckily, we're watching the next one right now.
Bro ate too many microplastics.
Yeah. He's red 40 maxing.
Did he really like pickles? Did he pickle himself?
Yeah, it's either a different body that was placed in there very soon after for some fucking reason, or it's a perfectly replicated like wax figure or something, because nothing can preserve a body for a year.
Yeah.
It just eventually will just break down just from the air, like just from oxidation.
That's strange. There's gonna be some kind of like, oh, this or like, but I don't know anything about. You know what I mean?
What if they're just like, it was a real curse? Or what if he was alive the whole time? That would be crazy. What if she's like, oh, I put a curse on him, and then a secret apothecary doctor person like Sui-Rei or something like that gave him that drug that keeps them alive, and or he was actually alive the whole time and he faked his death and he lived for another year, and then they came back and he was actually dead.
I feel like that'd be pretty hard to pull off. But
Not if the fucking lady was like the only one to be with him in his last dying breath, you know? And she died right after him, or
no, she died before him. His mom died before him.
I thought he died before and then she died after following him.
No, he died after following her. I'm pretty sure it said.
Shortly after the Empress died, as if chasing after? What?
She died.
Shortly after the Empress died. I thought he died shortly after the Empress died, as if chasing after, I thought, him. But no, it's the Emperor died shortly after the Empress died, as if chasing after her. Okay, I was gonna say, like, maybe they looked so much alike that, like, if she got her hair cut or something and she was dead, if she died, like, a year after, they mistake their body. I think the only thing that I could think of is it's a fake body, or he didn't actually die then, and he died later. Or maybe they thought, like, they poisoned him, like how Sui-Rei died, and then they buried him. And then he was entombed for a year, but and then he comes out after they leave, and then maybe he got like tortured or something in a fucking prison or something, or maybe he just left. Those are the only. What other options are there?
I don't know, but I feel like there's gonna be something to do with that weird like amber colored stone that he was
gonna hand to Jinshi.
That he dropped it, and like they keep showing him with it, and it's very critical, and it's still on the floor there, and I feel like that's gotta be something, you know. I feel, and I'm wondering if he was he could have died of old age, or he could have been like kind of poisoning himself on accident by like handling potentially, I don't know, fucking radioactive materials or some shit. But I don't know what, I don't know what could possibly.
We've had lead poisoning so much that like I almost couldn't believe if it was another plot point.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's possible. It's as if chasing after her. I wonder if he literally like killed himself because he was so dependent on his mother, and he was just a coward and a piece of shit, so that he like literally like, you know, drank himself to death, or poisoned himself, or he was poisoned. And yeah, and like his body being preserved a year later doesn't make any sense. The only other, we have a context for that, and that's Sui-Rei faking her death. So maybe he didn't fake his death. Maybe somebody else faked his death to punish him for being a piece of shit. Maybe.
Or if he did die, then what if essentially his mother like she was dying and she didn't really want him to be like around without her. So she dosed up this room with a bunch of fucking poison. So then he goes and like lays down in the bed or like is spending time in this room, and then she knew that like because she knew she was dying, didn't want him to be in charge without her there because she didn't seemingly trust him. So then she like doses up everything in this room, and then he spends time in there like she knew that he would, and then he dies because of that. Like,
but then what about his body a year later?
I still don't know about that.
That's you're not factoring in that his body was preserved for a year, which doesn't make any sense under any circumstance outside of supernatural. Like I could see that, except that his body was around for a year without being decomposed. There seems to be a lot of connections with Suirei. You know, I think it's mirroring what happened with Suirei. And also, Suirei was adopted by a fucking super powerful doctor guy who is like a teacher of doctors in the rear palace, or in the palace. So I think it's connected to that. I think that like whatever that line of doctors that maybe Lomen is connected to or learned from, or Suirei and all these fucking people, how connected or disconnected they are, whatever. It goes back to that, and this is some like apothecary fuckery that she's gonna figure out is basically the same as what happened with Suirei. And then maybe she'll be able to trace back like, oh, Suirei was apparently adopted by this doctor. Maybe that doctor was around during this time. Maybe he's the one who pulled this off, and then he adopted Suirei, and now she's doing the same thing. Maybe that's how she knew how to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe the emperor was afraid of ruling after his mom died. So then he faked his death because he wanted to give up, ownership of everything. And then they checked a year later, and maybe he also again was faking his death. Twice.
Or yeah, maybe you're right with like the wax or something. Maybe the fucking, I don't know what material he was holding. It looked like a rock, but like maybe it was some kind of all I know is she's gonna find evidence of something in the room, so that's why I'm trying to think what's she gonna find in there that's gonna kind of crack open the case.
Maybe there'll be writing. There's like painting all over the floor.
Yeah.
Maybe that was done by Jinshi.
Oh, maybe it's like chalk. Maybe it literally is a wax replica, and it's like they like meticulously like kind of watercolored in like the skin, because like you'd have to make it look like a realistic dead person.
Yeah.
And then she's gonna find like evidence of arts and crafts going on in there.
It looks like I can see the evidence of arts and crafts on the floor.
Yeah.
Some shit like that. Like I like her poisoning hand, like all that stuff everything makes perfect sense, but the detail of his body being found a year later points the only way that's possible is if it's supernatural, or if that's not his real dead body. The second time maybe it's not the second time. But then why would you do that perfectly preserved? Like, why would you kill him and then take his body out and then put a wax figure in? It doesn't make any sense. It had to have been a fake body or his living body still the first time.
Yeah.
And maybe if it's all come back to apothecaries and doctors forging all of the shit connecting to Shisho or whatever, if that's how this all fits together, that would make sense because they'd be the ones doing the autopsy, so they could say, it's good, he's not dead, or he's dead. He's fully dead. When, maybe if somebody like maomao's come along, they'd be like, okay, he's clearly not dead. Like, he's clearly not dead, but...
Or like, clearly this is not a person.
Yeah. I think I genuinely, like, the wax figure thing was my first thought. The more I think about it, the more I think that it's probably gonna give maomao context for Suirei. Give her more information. Like, this is a chance for her to, like, find the starting point to what led to her doing what she did, and maybe it'll give her context of what she's going to do next with the current emperor and with Jinshi and stuff.
I'm also hoping, because like we were talking earlier about like the sketchiness. Maomao's not going to be the taster. Like I wonder if this is the time that they're like, because there's all this talk of abortion drug, but while talking about just abortion drugs, what we are maybe neglecting is just actual straight up kill you poisons.
Maybe.
you never know. So like if Maomao's not the taster, because Maomao took some poison that could have killed her if she it didn't if eaten in a large enough quantity, but she recognized it immediately and didn't swallow it. But a educated and under practiced taster wouldn't maybe have that hesitation of like holding it and like, oh, this is poison, I'm not gonna swallow it.
Hong Yang.
Yeah, Hong Yang, she, like, we've been noticing she's been acting a little bit sketchy or just, like, more intensely. And I'm saying, like, what if this is the time that someone tries to poison Gyokyo with, like, not an abortion drug like that has been, like, circulating around, but, like, actual poison.
Oh.
And then she gets killed or,
So,
like, severely injured
Here's
by
the
it.
reason I don't think that is going to happen. That's why I was bringing up Li Shu, is because Li Shu was a kill you poison moment, but it was a sloppy lady-in-waiting who's not connected to this whole assassination plot. If this and everything connected to this planned assassination on Jinshi, and all of this like very subtle bringing in poisons that don't kill. Yes, it's meticulous, and it's all like each thing is not. Oh, they did this so that they could poison somebody. It's they did this so that they could move one piece closer and one piece closer until it's this confluence of like coincidences that end in somebody getting poisoned or some effect being taken place. So because that's been the pattern so far, the only time that there's been like a I'm gonna kill you poison is a sloppy person who is trying to like just cover up and is going too far and is working off emotion, is like is a very passionate sort of person. These assassination attempts all are subtle. They're more subtle than just kill you poison. That's why it's all abortion drugs. So I think you're probably right because you're Lindsay and you guess things right like that all the time. So you're probably just right based on that. But based on the pattern that I'm seeing with the show, I think that it's unlikely that they do something that drastic, because then it raises more eyebrows.
Yeah.
It makes it harder to get in things like the mirrors, or if they're getting mercury from the mirrors. I don't even know if that's a thing or if I'm making that up. It feels like a fact that I know from like my childhood or something that I learned about how you make mirrors. But anyway, so I might be just fucking crazy with that. I'm gonna look that up right now. I'll just look up, did mirrors used to contain mercury? Yes. Modern mirrors do not. Historically, mirrors, this is AI overview. The use of tin mercury amalgam was the primary method for producing glass mirrors from the 16th to early 20th century. So that's a little bit later than this would be, but it's still in there. Yeah. So that's how they got the reflection, is they would put 2 panes of glass and then mercury in the middle. And that's the one thing that's been missing from this whole fucking thing. So I think, and that's why the mirrors were ordered in or sent in, because. So I theorized that shit with Li Shu that I was just going off on a limb, but that's probably what's going on. That situation is probably what's going on with these other girls. They with the whole market and everything. They flood the market with all these things, and then all these little pieces get connected.
And then they're in the capital when one of their like assailants that is like potentially lurking around. Like, they're obviously not going to poison anyone themselves. They're just going to be available as, like, a hot person around when there's a spot open up, you know?
So maybe someone will full on... Maybe there's the abortion drug will be powerful enough to where a doctor could determine that they can't bear children anymore, one of the main concubines. Maybe that'll happen to Gyokyo now. Yeah. Maybe she's about to be poisoned with that shit. Oh my god, we talked so long that it fucking ended the episode for us.
Yeah. It might also be a thing, like, this is, like, kind of another just, like, a random thing, but yeah, if we're talking about someone needing to access the mirrors, we know that the mirrors are in each of the, like, the main areas. And as we don't necessarily know who this, like, you know, mystery person could, like,
Suire, probably
could be her, could also be, like, she could be running a separate side plot, and then these, like, the foreigners could be doing, like, their own infiltration kind of thing. We don't fully know, but, like, it would be interesting since all the pavilions just, like, cleaned up their houses super crazily, so maybe they wouldn't notice right away if one of the mirrors got tampered with. and then was weird because they maybe like just cleaned so rigorously and now they're all out of the house. So now would be a really good time for someone to go in and tamper with the mirror.
If we show
knowing that it might not get cleaned again right away because they just did such a thorough cleaning.
So the poisonings might not happen right now, but we're going to go back and then one of their mirrors is going to be broken, I bet.
Yeah.
Because the owner, you can't just tamper with it and siphon out a little bit. It would like, you'd notice that, or maybe it'll be subtle and it'll just be like, oh,
little crack.
It's like, yeah, there's a crack in the mirror, and then it's like, oh, what's that about? Oh, that's too bad. And then the girls will be like, oh, man. And then my mom will be like, oh, that's unfortunate, but it's going to be a huge plot point that's where they got the mercury.
Or it's going to come over later that one of the other concubines' mirrors was broken, and it was like,
I think that's
a big like fight, like, oh, this and that.
Shisui is the one collecting all the stuff for the abortion drug. So I don't think that, I mean, maybe it'll be just as clear as her mirror was broken. But I think you're right. Now that it's everybody's here, everybody got called out, it's the perfect time for Gyokyo's mirror to get broken. Or maybe if Shisui / Lolon suspects Maomao figuring shit out, maybe it'll be Liwa's mirror that'll be broken. Or Lishu's. Maybe that, you know?
Yeah.
Leave a like and subscribe. Moving on to the next one.